Now, since its inception, America has always been called the great experiment. But the thing about an experiment is you never quite know how it's going to turn out. Our forefathers didn't know, and hell, we still don't know today. But by the way, it's looking more and more, it's starting to feel like that experiment's failing. And hell, it might have already failed. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I'll tell you straight up. When I look around, all I see is decline everywhere. I mean, crime is higher. People don't know how to treat each other with basic decency anymore. Our government's a mess. Even our economy is shaky, man. Maybe not to the level of collapse, but it's damn sure heading that way. And I mean, everywhere you look, there are obvious signs of decline. I mean, this ain't the America I grew up in. It's just simply like a shell or a bad memory of it. And then I sit back, man, and I can't help wonder, how did we get here? How do we fall so far? But more importantly, how do we change it? And I can honestly say to you, I don't know. I don't know how we get back to where we need to be. But I do know this. I know that if we don't do something and do it soon, well, the country that we all knew and loved, well, that country is gone. And it's gone for good. Now, I'll tell you what I think personally happened. I think it was moral decay. I believe that's the correct word because that's what it feels a lot like. It feels like a cavity that was untreated that just allowed to fester and continue to grow. And now it's destroying that whole tooth from the inside out. Because this didn't happen overnight, people. This level of decay that we're seeing in this country, this took generations and generations and decades. But you can see it now because the results of that kind of decay, well, they're as clear as day. Kids aren't being taught values anymore. And even the adults who once had those values, they seem to have let them kind of slide by the wayside. And the very things that were once unacceptable in society, now they're celebrated. And it's the same stuff that would have got you locked up, right? Now it's mainstream. And I can't help but ask myself, man, how? Why? What caused this? Was it TV or social media? I don't know, the internet? What was it the news trying to divide us 24/7? What was it that broke us as a nation? I don't know. But you know what truly frightens me? That's the fact that we don't just disagree with each other anymore. We actually despise each other. And that's a very strong word. It's no longer just, I don't know, I think you're wrong. Nowadays, it's more like, I want to destroy you. And people, that's new. I've never seen that level of hatred before. That's a lot deeper. And it's sort of like, it's spreading like a sickness, man, around our whole country, like a cancer eating us from the inside. And the problem is nobody has a cure for it. I don't know. We like to talk a lot about addictions, drug addiction and gun addiction. And make no mistake about it, those are real problems and they need to be addressed. But we have another more prevalent addiction in this country, man, that seldom gets mentioned. People, we're addicted to hate and to cruelty. We somehow feed off of it. You see, this isn't really about politics anymore. This is more about people who are hurting inside on a fundamental level and people who don't trust each other anymore. I mean, just stop and look around and see how we treat each other now. I mean, we even cheer when our neighbors suffer. These are our fellow citizens. And we laugh at the homeless. And then we look down on and demonize the veterans with mental issues. And don't forget, these are the very men who went and risked their lives for our freedoms in this country. People, we get off on watching other people suffer. I don't. Let me ask you something. When did that become the American way? And when did this become okay? I don't know. I've always heard it said that good fences make for good neighbors. And I believe that's true to an extent. Boundaries do matter. But the Bible also says to love your neighbor. And it also goes on to say to love your enemies. And I think that is because a lot of the time, those are the same people. Because doesn't it feel a lot like that in this country today, like your neighbors or your enemies. And I mean, we were supposed to be the melting pot. But instead of that, we become the chopping block where everything and everybody is getting cut down. It seems like everything that we held sacred, we believed in, our morals, our values is being plowed under or torn down or just totally disregarded. So much so that most of us don't even recognize what's left of this country anymore. And the scariest part of all this to me, it's the unknown, people. It's the not knowing what could possibly come next. I don't even say, how could it get any worse anymore? Because I don't think any of us could have ever thought our country could transform into what we're seeing today, And I think a lot of us are starting to realize none of us really knows what tomorrow could look like. I'm scared to even think about it sometimes. And I don't know, man. Sometimes I look at politics, man, and culture and the economy, and it just feels like we're watching the fall of the American empire, man, in real time. And I hate to say that, but every great empire falls. That's unfortunate. But people are so isolated, man, and angry, and they just distrust everybody and everything. Even our military is overstretched. Our climate's all fucked up. Everything just feels foreign, man. It just doesn't quite feel like home anymore, And then I was thinking about, if we do collapse, if we do go under, maybe we don't collapse in this one big single moment, Maybe we don't have this big civil war that I keep hearing people preaching about and talking about, or maybe we don't go out in some huge fucking mushroom cloud. Maybe it's a much slower decline. Maybe we go out a sick, paranoid, hungry population, man, just slowly rotting from the inside. Giving away, and this is something that I see all the time. People, do you realize we're slowly giving away our freedoms for a false sense of security? We did it in 9/11, and we're doing it now. Somebody's promising us that I can make things better. And so we're slowly giving away our freedom. And it's just a false sense of security. It won't last. But anyway, I don't know. I can't help but ask, man, too. Where are the elders? Where are the fathers? Where are the leaders? Where are the people who used to pass down wisdom and values and a code to live by and offer comfort to the nation in a time of turmoil? Because if you look all around you, man, boys, they're not being taught how to be men anymore. And little girls, they're not being taught how to be women. And families, the few that still exist, they're not being taught anything. I don't know, man. And maybe that's the root of everything, man. We stopped raising people who knew how to stand for something. And now we're raising a generation that will fall for anything. The old saying does say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that's very true today. I just look back, man. I remember there used to be a time when the president of the United States was the most respected man in the world. Not just here, but the whole world would look up to him. Not anymore. Now we live in a country, people, that has no real leaders, just a bunch of fake followers pretending they know how to lead. And if that's the example that's being set at the top, is there any wonder the rest of us down here at the bottom feel lost? So I ask you again, is America doomed? And I can honestly say I truly don't know, people. But I can say this, if it is, it won't be because of them up there at the top. It'll be because of us down here. So I guess the real question should be, when it all falls apart, if it does, will you be able to say you did your part to try to stop it? Drop it down in the comments and let's talk about it. And as always, take care of yourself and each other. I'm Unc. I'll see you guys in the next one.